just saw Lynn on the basketball floor, but kind of how can you speak to sort of the all-around athlete that he is?
Yeah, well, I think Lynn he's almost an old school kid. It's like all the things that a lot of coaches complain about kids these days, and they're not competitive or they don't. Lynn's one of the most competitive kids. He competes in gym class. He competes in what a lot of kids think are meaningless events. He just loves to compete. He loves to play hard, and that's the number one reason why him and I get along so well. Is he loves to compete. He loves to play. It doesn't matter what you're playing. Doesn't matter the stage. Whether it's an all-star game, he's gonna go play hard. I think Kentucky's getting a good football player, but Kentucky's getting a competitor.
And being kind of a two-sport athlete and still playing in this game, even though he's committed to play football, does that kind of speak to that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I tell people all the time. Like, he gets invited to play. He's played in like 4 all-star games, and he doesn't need to. He doesn't have to. He likes basketball. He loves to compete, and he doesn't shy away from that stuff. And, he's a very astute kid. Like, he knows all those guys in there, and even though he's the kind of the premier football kid, he knows all the good basketball players. He wants to be around all the good basketball players.
He's sort of getting comparisons to some of the best football players that have ever come through Ohio. How do you think he's kind of dealing with handling all that kind of all the talk around him, and how is he reacting?
Yeah, here's the deal. I think Lynn's always kind of had that. Like when he was young, he was always kind of the it guy. So he's grown up with that. It wasn't like this came on all of a sudden. When he was in 5th grade and 6th grade and 7th grade, he was kind of the next big thing, and so he's always lived in kind of in the spotlight, so to speak. So there really wasn't the adjustment factor where like some kids grow up, average, and then all of a sudden have this big spurt. That wasn't Lynn's case, so he's just always had it.
What do you think of like playing basketball? Do you think that kind of helped him, like not necessarily burning out on football or anything else like that? How much do you think that was a factor?
I mean, maybe. I don't know if I know the answer to that. He just plays basketball because he likes basketball. It's not, he plays in the summer. He goes to football almost every day, but then when we're playing something in the summer, he says, "Coach, I want to go play." And again, he doesn't need to. He wants to. So.
How excited are you to see what he does on the football field next year?
Yeah, listen, I never envisioned myself being a Kentucky football fan, but I am now. And we've had a lot of athletes from Warren to be fortunate enough to go play, and my closet's got a lot of different schools represented in that. So we're excited for him. The community's excited for him. Our basketball program's excited for him. And, we'll be down here in Lexington soon.
How many other football guys have you coached that went on to play college football in basketball? Many?
None recently. I mean, Mario Manningham's around our program a lot, and Boom Heron's been around our program a lot. He's had relatives play for us, and so in that community, sports is such a big thing. Those guys come back, and they maybe didn't play basketball, but they're around all the time. They're around our kids all the time. It's great having them around.
Is Lynn's name kind of already grouped in that bunch with like Mario Manningham and Boom Heron, those guys? What, just from what you can tell on the football field, or how did he kind of get put in that company?
When you count for 58 touchdowns your senior year, you automatically get put in that company. I mean, he electrified the town. It was Friday night was like over under on what's Bowden going to do. It was just that kind of crazy.
Talked about not envisioning being a Kentucky football fan, but how much are you guys aware of like Stoops and Marrow and all those guys?
Yeah. I mean, I'm from right outside Youngstown. Warren and Youngstown are sister cities, so I mean, I shouldn't say not a Kentucky football fan.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So, but having Stoops and Morrow and those guys down there certainly brings a lot of attention up there, and those guys are great guys. I mean, the Stoops family, synonymous with class, and they kind of personify Youngstown and the toughness and the character that they handle themselves with. So there's more Kentucky fans in Youngstown right now than
I don't know how much you can kind of speak to the recruiting process, but Lynn said Ohio State kind of came on a little late and his mind was almost made up. Was there ever?
Yeah, I mean, Lynn and I's relationship, I always, everybody asks him about all those questions. I just coached him in basketball and asked him how his day was and tried to get, because that was so much for Linda to deal with, and I wasn't involved in recruiting, and my only thing. If he ever came to my office and wanted to talk about it, I said, man, just go be happy. That was my only advice. And so,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.